It'll be all right.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Good? Looks like you're working hard.
Busy.
Not hard enough, but you're right here. Calling you.
It's Grecian formula.
Yeah.
It's Kenneth. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good.
I'm playing Santa, brothers. After this week is gone.
Enjoy talking.
Feelings mutual. I thought that was you, brother. Yes, sir. But did Ms. Chris get back in contact with you? Yeah. Okay, brother Kenneth. I just want to make sure that was you, man. You know, brother. Come on, man. Thank you, sir. Feelings mutual. Thank you.
Yeah, he said you. Okay, just get the
Yeah, send it out if anything else like that. It's just
No, I'm cool. I'll just take John's laptop.
That's right.
I'll have to go without. I know. Go Gators. I know what it is. Where
they going?
Michigan. Yeah, we playing Michigan. Who you guys playing? Houston?
No.
Oh, man, that's a blowout, man.
My chance to get where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Come on, Mr. Tequila. Come on, Johnny. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm going to that game.
1 minute dinner. There's a Rolex. You can't believe this. Rolex are not known for smoking great time. Seriously.
Hey, so it's just going to be us three? It's us three.
Yes.
So we have all three of us have to vote simultaneously. One dissents, that thing dies. Don't give me that look, Bubba. Who's buying pizza tonight?
Not me. It's over on Delaware
Man, we're gonna have a lot of delegation cards, but the sign issue is resolved.
What's that?
Good, how are you?
The signs on River Edge, man.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, at the last meeting, he said, do it.
and that's the 10th. That's the deadline date.
Yeah, it takes a minute.
Yeah, they put up cones yesterday, Matt. Cones yesterday, correct?
I know it.
Okay. Okay. Because I know they're gonna come up and talk about it.
Christmas parade.
Hey, man. No, you're right. I was a shindig, man. I couldn't get out of Palm Bay. I was a shindig. That Saturday night at your house with the voters. Good.
For the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I had a good time with Sip and Stroll and all that. You remember we?
yeah, they appreciated it. People who came, they appreciated it.
Let's make this party happen.
Some of them were as far away as Canada.
Okay, y'all.
Ready?
The mayor, yeah, get together, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we with you, man. Come on.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming this evening. And happy holiday season and Merry Christmas.
Thank you,
We
Merry
say it all here.
That's right.
right.
Happy Hanukkah,
Thanks for
Kwanzaa.
coming. So we're going to start with invocation. Mr. Blade, would you do the invocation?
Absolutely, sir.
Do it.
Heard everyone stand, please, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please secure your cell phones. Dear Heavenly Father, once again, we ask you for your blessings from heaven. Once again, we thank you for each and every member standing there and securing our building. We thank you for the protection of the military men and women that serve our great nation. We just celebrated Pearl Harbor's 74th anniversary, sir. So we ask you, dear Heavenly Father, to continue to bless us all. We said in your sweet son name, Jesus. And everyone said amen.
Amen.
Amen. And amen again. Thank you, sir.
Face the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Play ball.
Gary.
Mayor Parrish?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Bover? Councilman Blake?
Present.
Councilman Furbish?
Here.
Councilwoman Warner? City Attorney Garganese,
Here.
City Manager Takanich.
Here.
And Assistant City Manager Bjork.
Here.
Thank you.
Nice, all right, good. We go to the agenda in the minutes.
I'd like to make a motion, approve the regular meeting held December the 8th. Also, the minutes of October 27th, 2015, let me say 2015 for the record, November the 10th, 2015.
Councilman, would you take a friendly addition to that? Would be the agenda as amended?
Yes, sir,
Because we have a couple of items that the city manager wants to talk to us about.
absolutely.
And I'll second that.
Okay. I
Okay.
will amend my motion to reflect the request here of my cohort. So, ready to call the question? I second, he seconded?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now we'll move on to delegations. We'll start with Joanne Corby. How you doing?
Good evening, Mayor, Council.
Good evening.
Joanne Corby, 2462 Chaparral Drive, Melbourne, Florida. I'm here this evening to speak to you about Ordinance 8. It was passed June 27, 2000. The ordinance was written to provide a better death provision for the firefighters of Cocoa and for their families. The death provision provided for a lifetime payment for the beneficiaries of firefighters that were eligible to retire but passed away prior to retirement. I am the widow of Deputy Chief Mike Corby. You know, death is not an option, it's mandatory. There's no form or paperwork required. There's no credited years of service required. And there's no age requirement. I'm going to try to get through this without losing it, so bear with
Take
me.
your time.
Take your time.
The only requirement that's involved is that you have to be alive moments before it happens. Well, what do you do in a situation when you have an active firefighter who's in good standings, who has met the retirement, all the requirements of the pension plan to retire? What do you do when that situation occurs? Do you honor his retirement and his pension, or do you activate the death provision that was approved on June 27, 2000? Cocoa's Fire Pension Board did neither one of those things. I have spent the last 3.5 years in a battle, and I am here this evening to ask this council to please help and make this right. I will answer any questions because I'm going to toot my horn for a few minutes that I have spent the last 3 years, is true, studying and reading every pension that you can possibly imagine in the state of Florida. So I am open to any questions that you might have, or to clarify anything that you may have heard or not heard. But I would like an answer.
You want to answer from us right now? Is that my understanding? Because here's, Mr. Mayor, if I may, sir. That gentleman sits to your immediate right, Esquire Garganese. Gentleman sits to your left, City Manager. And I'm sure this is not the first time hearing or reading or being concerned about this situation the concerns of Mrs. Corby. And I would just like to know what's the legal ramifications. I'm sure the pension board rendered their decision as well, and I know I've discussed this with the city manager. And my question that I would like to present to both of the gentlemen and the pension board is, has time elapsed, or has there been a ruling on her particular situation at hand? What's the outcome? So that's my request, Mr. Mayor and cohorts.
Okay, John, you know anything?
I understand Mrs. Corby filed for benefits with the pension board. The pension board denied those benefits. Mrs. Corby subsequently, and please correct me if I'm wrong, ma'am, I mean, I've read all your information and I've done some research, but she subsequently filed suit, and it was heard at the circuit court. It was ruled against you. The pension board prevailed. She subsequently filed for, I think you did mediation then, and you appealed the original circuit court hearing because the mediation didn't go well, or to your satisfaction, and then you appealed it to the District Court of Appeals, and they upheld the circuit court's ruling, and I forget what, basically, and it ended right there, and you don't have the ability to go to the Supreme Court with it because of the way they ruled it. They just upheld the decision, and that was it.
The appeals court provided PCA, which is basically, in layman's term, is saying we agree with the lower courts, but we're not going to tell you why.
Correct.
So that portion is correct.
So from the city's standpoint, I have consulted with the city attorney's office. I mean, the pension board it's a board. You all appoint it, but there's also the members appoint it. It's a separate independent board. You have anything that we do as it relates to the pension plan, as you know, we just went through pension reform to at least a measure of pension reform. We have to negotiate that. It's collectively bargained. So you have no direct, you can't even control how they dole out the benefits or anything. It's we come to agreement, the ordinance is adopted like we did, and then they're responsible for enforcing the ordinance, or at least carrying through on the payments. There is, I guess, a difference of opinion, or Ms. Corby contends that she's due a higher benefit than that the court has, I guess, ruled. But the city has no standing at the end of the day legally, to intervene and force the pension board to honor something. I mean there is a loss. Unfortunately, I don't know what to do. I mean we've consulted together. We just have we can't intervene. I mean it's the issues between Mrs. Corby and the pension board, and the city has no standing.
Anthony, is that?
I mean, that generally sums it up. The pension.
Well, actually, this is the ordinance that was passed by the city of Cocoa. And here is a copy of that ordinance, and you can look at the pension. And it clearly has the 10-year cap removed. The 10-year cap is removed from your death provision. The other issue with the death provision is it takes the 3% multiplier that is outlined in the pension plan, and it reduces it to the statutory requirement of 2%. So you have two issues. You have the multiplier, and then you have the duration. Your ordinance removed that 10-year cap for lifetime benefit for eligible members. I don't know if this was your intent, but I'm going to fairly assume that, as a former council member myself, the thought process behind that could have been, well, we want to make this easy on the family. That when a family loses a family member, that we want to take away any additional burden that might occur and provide this death benefit. Actually, it's not a benefit, it's a payment, because to be quite honest with you, when you lose a loved one, there is no benefit, period. Putting that aside, your ordinance should have been provided immediately. That's what it says. It says it black and white. Here's a copy. I can give it to you. That was never ever done by Coco's Fire Pension Board. The authority that the council has is you have the authority and ability to appoint the pension board members. That's what you can do. You can appoint them. When this provision was not provided, I spent 9 months going back and forth between the state, between the pension board before hiring an attorney. And we went to court, and the court ruled that the 2% should be 3%. That was the ruling that they gave. But they capped the 3% to 10 years. And that's what the appeal court, agreed with. In short, had Michael been fired, or we threw a retirement party for him instead of a funeral, the death provision, excuse me, as it's written, provides less of the survivor's portion of a joint survivor annuity. I can't speak to the reasoning of the courts, but they ruled it the 2% to 3%, and they capped it at 10 years. Well, simple math can tell you 3% over a 10-year period is a lot less than 2% over the lifetime, assuming I live longer than 10 years. And I am asking this council to please approve the ordinance that you already approved. Why would my husband not receive that? Why would our family not receive that? Michael worked for this city for 21 and a half years. He was here day in, day out, role model employee. And it's not being honored. And I don't know why. What was the intent behind implementing the provision in the first place if you weren't going to honor it?
I can't answer that. I mean, was that presented to the,
Yes, sir. I will tell you
You've
that
still made a ruling.
Yes, sir. This ordinance, all of the attorneys that have been involved with this case. The pension board has. I've addressed the pension board countless numbers of times. And for some ungodly reason, people are not looking at the plain language, not only in the ordinance, but also in the actuary report where it clearly lists Michael. I gave you a copy of that. I can give you another one if you would like it. It clearly lists Michael as not only being eligible for retirement, but it outlines exactly what you receive if you pass away and you're eligible to retire. And it is a lifetime benefit. You all have a copy of that. Why will you not honor it?
I'm not sure it's not the council or the city not honoring it. It's,
But the question I would have is, if we have this written in an ordinance, is it ordinance or is it charter?
No, sir, it isn't. It
ordinance?
is an ordinance. Here's a
If we
copy
have
of
this
it.
written in an ordinance, how could they not do it? How could the pension board not do it? I'm not a lawyer, but this is a question I would ask. You know, how can they not have done that?
yeah, I mean, I read it the same way, but we don't have a say in it. That's the problem.
Look at that man to your right. That's why we.
Anthony, any answers on that?
Yeah, generally what John has said, is correct. I mean, the council adopts the pension ordinance in conjunction with pension board recommendations and collective bargaining, provisions with the fire department. Once that ordinance is adopted, it's the pension board's responsibility to manage the pension appropriately and to apply the ordinance at the appropriate time under retirement or the unfortunate death of a firefighter, and they make the determination as to what the benefit is applying that ordinance. And, I can't speak in this particular case because this is generally outside of the scope of, the city's, purview and responsibilities, but, Ms. Corby had the opportunity to present all of this, and she did to the board. The board applied the ordinance. She apparently was afforded her, appellate rights to circuit court and the 5th District Court of Appeal, and the final decision was ultimately rendered interpreting the ordinance that this council approved years ago. And, at this juncture, it's not the purview of the council to direct the pension board to, award a pension based on her current position. And that's the unfortunate, the truth, that, at least the position that the council finds itself in.
There are 4 levels of revenue that all pensions have in the state of Florida. You have the employer contribution, the employee contribution, which, by the way, just so everybody knows, that there is no option to be a member of the pension. You're required to be a member by virtue of employment. You have the insurance tax premiums that are also revenue for the pensions, and then the interest income, for the pensions. Without honoring your death provision, you have now taken the monies that would have been allocated, again, like I said, had Michael and I had a retirement party, or he was fired that day that he passed. You are now taking those money and basically stealing from the dead. That's what you're doing. That's what the pension board is doing.
So the pension board is doing, right?
Well, the pension board represents COCO. It is COCO's pension board.
Actually, they represent the members of the pension.
They do. It's a trust fund, and it's there for the best interests of the firefighters and the families. And I can see I'm out of time.
Yeah, go to time. Mr. Blake?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, thank you. My greatest concern right about now is we can't render a decision
I understand that, and I didn't
this
expect
very
that.
moment.
I
But
understand that, Mr. Blake.
I am saying to you, Mrs. Corby, give us the time to go back and reflect and let them do their homework, do their due diligence, and see, because I definitely will meet with my city manager and my city attorney, and if not even members of the pension board, the chairman, president, whatever the case may be, whoever that chairperson may be, so that I can have the equal opportunity to find out, based on their decision, how they decided that. And looking at the intent of the law, the spirit of the law, if it's clearly denoted in that ordinance, ma'am, it's hard not to honor it. And I'm just trying to figure out why they would not honor that ordinance.
I understand that.
I
And
agree
it-
with you. I don't know how they did anything else, really.
Right. So, can I have more time? I know they're gonna need more time. I think we're gonna need more time, and I just wanna do the right thing. That's all I know how to do. So,
Hell, I've been waiting 3.5 years.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your time.
Joanne, thanks for coming. Melissa Martin? Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. I just came up today to update the current status of the issue I proposed in our November 10th hearing regarding the standing working group or committee of some sort, or something that, to get the ball rolling, as advised by the city manager. And I just wanted to, I know you guys are very busy, and I understand that, responses may take some time, but I also just, for the official record, wanted to ask for an update from your position and perhaps enter a quick dialogue on what the issue is. So to refresh, do you need me to refresh anything or update on the emails I sent between then and now?
It's on.
What I was going to suggest to council is we can bring back, you know, because the city attorney and I have already spoken on the matter, we can bring back because we think there's an ordinance that already exists that covers, in addition to where council has adopted an ordinance way back in the, you know, a while ago regulating certain activities. So I mean, we can bring that back and we can share it with Ms. Martin and see if that meets, you know, what she was seeking.
And we're also regulated by the state. so
Correct, the ethics,
Yeah.
in Chapter 112, the Ethics
We got to
Commission.
do that every year.
There's a bill that is
4 hours.
sitting,
Yep.
I think, you know, sitting, well, it's currently, I don't think it's tabled or whatever, you know, for, it's a public corruption bill that the Florida Today sponsored. It's not dead, it's still, it's,
There's
not getting any
also
traction
some
right now.
wording in the council's handbook.
that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
And the city attorney and I did speak, we just not have had a chance, because a couple of the matters that were more pressing, to address it further. And so, and Ms. Martin did send me a follow-up email, and I've not had a chance to get back with her, because I keep trying to wait to get that ordinance to forward it to her.
Check. Based on my research, the ordinances that I know that are currently on the books are not exactly what I was looking for. I wanted to also submit for the record the sample anti-corruption resolution language for the council members to review, and also the 3 different Florida League of City articles that pertain to this issue that all call for the same general impetus on this matter. So again, I'll just go ahead and and I guess I'll just officially request the ability to meet with each of you to further explain and go through what we're looking, you know, what would behoove the city, both in functional basis in the law and also just the opportunity the city has to be a leader on this issue in the region and in the state. Currently, Tallahassee is the only other city in Florida that has vocally stood up and created a resolution on the matter. And so various cities across the nation are doing this. The resolution, again, it's a resolution, not a code change, but it is something that I think would be necessary for the leaders of the various governing bodies throughout the municipalities of Florida to say the same thing, say more or less reestablish the trust and confidence of the people in their elected officials. So if there's any other questions I can answer at this time?
No, we'll meet with you, and John will get back with you.
Okay,
too.
check.
And we're all about it, like last meeting. But,
Right.
But John and I were talking, like several of us were talking, with all my friends about the Today paper when they're supporting
Right on.
elements of it. And I won't support that until or unless I see it, you know what I mean? It's still being
It's still being worked.
Yes.
worked.
Right.
So, I mean, we're going to look at all, everything, but sure. I mean,
Yes. Those initiatives are worthwhile long-term as well, and it will help the prosecutors do their job on the matter, because right now there's just a blockage of many sorts throughout the system.
Yeah.
So, all right, thank you for your time.
Listen, no, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martin.
Chris Soria? Oria? Chris, how you doing?
Very good.
My name is Chris Diorio, and I live at 109 Riverside Drive. I want to thank the council and the staff for their response to our request for the no parking signs on Riverside Drive. Thank you so much, and I'm sure the cars, the bicyclists, the runners, the joggers, et cetera, and everyone who uses Riverside Drive thanks you. And a special thank you to Councilman Blake for spearheading the effort.
Team
Yeah.
Coco now.
Yeah.
Team Coco. It's a team effort. Thank you, Council. Team effort. though.
That's it.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you for coming. Yes, ma'am.
Robert Keniston? Where's Bob at? Bob? You're it. Never call your name. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Robert Kenniston, 107 Riverside Drive, and I've got a few things to hand out first. So, start at the top.
Okay, thank you.
That,
Thank you, Mr. Keniston.
you're welcome, Mr. Blake.
Thanks, sir.
Take great pictures.
I didn't take.
Oh,
Somebody did. That's a good one.
You've got one. Weldon?
and chief on the, sure.
All right. Good evening.
Greetings.
I've been asked to address the parking issues on Riverside Drive and to thank those of you who have supported us in this effort. As Ms. Iorio just said, the signs are going up, and we really appreciate that. And they're going from Church Street on both sides of Riverside down to fairly close to the city limit. They're not at the city limit, and that's something that city staff might want to look at. The packets that I handed you, those have the signatures of 150 individuals who have signed our ongoing petitions and are regular users of Riverside Drive in various manners. They also say thank you. This has been a safety issue since day one, and through our grassroots efforts and your leadership, we have been able to safely address this. Thank you again, Mayor Parrish and Councilman Blake, for your efforts on this. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to having a lot less close calls out there on Riverside Drive. So pat yourselves on the back. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Bob, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Two good comments in the same meeting.
Can I say something, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
For future reference, something that we tossed around even through Matt, and I think, who was on the phone with us that day, Matt, that we talked to? Was it Chris? Eventually, to remove, just hear me out before you shoot this, you can't miss me, so come on. Eventually, to remove the signs and maybe paint a strip on the curb, some maybe cocoa orange, so that the signs will not impede your vision. We do not want to take away the scenic view of the riverfront. You get what I'm saying? Maybe after, say, 6 months or to a year installation of the signs, paint that curb eventually so that people will know, just like if you're in the state of California, whatever the case may be, they see that orange curb or that red stripe on the curb, they know no parking is permitted there. That's down the road, that's all I'm saying.
I agree with that, because the signs are ugly.
Right, signs are ugly, but we have to have them sometimes.
So
Right.
will
Depending
be,
on the sign.
so will be that orange curbing. That'll
Yeah,
be
well, you
pretty-
can't miss it, yeah, absolutely. But
That's
just food
true.
for thought.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mayor.
Lawrence Sinclair.
Lawrence Sinclair, 1052 Mitchell Street, Cocoa. Good evening, everyone. Where's Councilman Warner? And what happened to the deputy mayor? Did they switch? Or have I just been looking at the wrong signs?
I think Don's not feeling well, and Brenda's in Orlando.
Okay. We need to get moving on this Broadmoor Acres surveillance thing. I need to figure out who we're going to work with the city to address the legal concerns that Chief Cantaloupe has as far as the use of the cameras. I'm not sure how we're going to go about proceeding with this, but I can tell you that the residents that attended on October 29th are starting to wonder if we're actually going to move on this. I mean, I can put stuff up on my property. I can get people to put it up on theirs, but we need the city to actually follow through on this. We need the police department to figure out how they're going to be able to use the systems. I've contacted the Attorney General's office. I've spoken to the State Attorney's office. I've spoken to Orange County and Orlando that have similar programs where the police department has access to surveillance cameras that are installed on private property. It's definitely needed. I know that you guys took a step to put strips over on Belafonte to monitor traffic and speed. I have no idea what your results show you, but I would be willing to bet you that you're going to be absolutely shocked at the speed levels recorded in there. As you know, I keep you all apprised via email, and I've had a little run-in with FP&L, but I want to tell you that this is the resolution that we've come up with to this point. Spoke to zoning, Mr. Steve
Belden.
Bell?
Belden.
Okay.
That's
Elder.
No, not you.
Steve Beal.
Beal in
okay.
zoning, yes. I have confirmed with zoning that there is absolutely no zoning prohibition of installing telephone poles on private property in the city of Cocoa. However, I will agree with Mr. Bell. I don't think for aesthetics of a community, we really want to start installing 50 telephone poles in people's yards.
Amen.
But we do have to come up with a solution that we can work with, whether it be on the property of the individual owner or whether it be in the right-of-way. Broadmoor Acres is a situation that if we don't address and we don't follow through, it's only going to get worse. One more. I met with Mr. Belden and Chris Counselor this past week. Got a lady next door to me who has purchased a house that's already being inspected by Brevard Housing for Section 8. Yet every bit of the work that's been done on that house doesn't have a single permit. She's not even listed as the legal owner of the property. And the work done on it has been done without permits, without contractors. And this is not the exception. This is the norm. You've got 5 houses on North Georgia that are currently being renovated. You don't see a single permit on them. In looking through this community for owner versus renter, Mitchell Street has 4 owners actually occupying the properties. That's astounding. Belafonte only has 3. And most of these houses, there is a single house owned, and Chief Cantaloupe, I think you're familiar with it, 401 North Kentucky. Sugar? Okay. That house and the owner of that house and that family rents 8 houses in the Broadmoor Acres subdivision for the sale of drugs and prostitution. It's right there in broad daylight, and we still can't do anything about it. Imagine what these cameras would allow law enforcement to actually prosecute and arrest and clean up. So we really do need to decide who we're going to work with, how we're going to come about it. I submitted a proposed owner agreement for any suggestions that the city has as far as language, as far as legal liability and holding harmless. So I'm just waiting on you guys.
I know the city manager was looking forward to trying to work something out. The problem is the wheel of government goes slower than you do. And everybody else, but John, you got any comments on this?
We got the agreement last, you're talking about the
Yeah.
one you just emailed.
That I'm not expecting him to
So,
respond
well,
to.
that's kind of the city attorney is looking at it, and it's not just government, it just matters, there's a whole host of issues you could probably raise, but it's being legally researched and making sure, because at the end of the day, we don't want to expose the city taxpayers to a lawsuit because we violate somebody's, privacy rights or something to that effect. So, it's a lot of legal issues.
Let me
that are
ask you this real
presented.
fast. You got, like, let's say one of the banks down here has exterior cameras, and the police use those for, right? I mean, you can do the same thing residentially, right?
Residentially, and if you, John would let me, residentially you can use them. I understand the concerns because Chief Cantaloupe and I tend to have a difference of opinion as far as what Florida law requires. On my property, you will notice a sign that says the property is under 24/7 live and recorded audio and video surveillance. Because I do record both audio and video on my property. If you come on my property and break into it and you're talking to your homeboy on the phone saying, come in the window, I'm going to hear you do it, okay? The state of Florida is a 2-party notification. So in that sense, I tell everybody, put the notice up anyway. The thing is none of my cameras on my own property take in any of my neighbor from the back or the side. I take nothing into my neighbor's yard or into their windows or anything like that. And I think that's where we're talking about the privacy issues. As far as the front of the properties, you have no right to privacy on a public street, and, you know, what happens in plain view on a public street, and, I mean, you've got people walking down with their cell phones recording people sitting out on their yard, so. But I understand where he's
Hey,
coming from.
Lawrence, yeah, so we'll just keep moving forward.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
And,
You're working with the right people, the chief and myself, and then we're
Yeah.
with the attorney.
Okay. And Merry Christmas, everybody, and I hope your father's better. And see, my mom won't recognize me now.
That's what she said, right? I saw him today in the rehab center. But- Okay, thank you for coming. Alan Chapman? Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, staff. Alan Chapman, Historic Cocoa Village Association, 12 Stone Street, Suite 5. I'm here to say thanks. We had an art and craft fair here in the village last weekend, and I don't know how you missed it if you did, but it went very well. We had an unusual number of cancellations and no-shows, many more than we usually have. And I'm hoping that the city will put in the right kind of word with the meteorology department, wherever, to let them know that the weather in Cocoa is not the weather in South Florida, it is not the weather down in Fort Lauderdale, and it is not the weather in Miami. While they have rain, we have sunshine, and it's right there on the city logo. I don't know why they have such a hard time figuring it out. Nonetheless, it went well, and we had about 185 artists and crafters, plus nonprofits, plus about 25 merchants participating in the street. So a good time was had by all. Also this weekend, we welcomed the Sail to the Sun Intercoastal Waterway Rally, sponsored by Waterway Guide, and I know that Brad is going to tell you a little bit more about that. But I did want to just take a minute and thank the city for its support in this effort. We the HCVA put a fair amount of work into it, and I want to thank you personally, Henry, for your presence at the reception on Saturday night, and Councilman Furbish, I want to thank you as well. Thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate the support. Last but not least, of interest, our Barbecue and Blues event, which occurs in June, as I'm sure you'll recall, has been nominated by the Florida Barbecue Association as the state championship event. There's one other location in the running, but we've got our fingers crossed, and we're hoping that we can
Wow, what's the other location?
put it over the top. We don't know.
Doesn't
We
matter.
don't know, but
Doesn't
we're
matter.
working to put it over the top. So,
Great.
Water tower, man, blow them out the
Water
water.
tower, that's
Yeah,
right.
That's
blow 'em
good.
out the water.
and I wanted to
Right.
take just a moment, and I work with a lot of people here on a day in, day out basis, and I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you.
To you, Alan. Thank you. Great report. Brad Whitmore.
3.5 in a row, man.
Hmm.
3.5.
Yeah. I think we're gonna make it.
Oh, yeah.
Brad,
Good evening.
how you doing?
Good. Brad Whitmore, 351 Rockledge Drive, member of the Historic Cocoa Village Association Board and married to the owner of Bobby's at Parkside. Following on Alan's comments in a minute, but first, I find myself, this is the third time I've been coming down I-95 and just barely making it to a council meeting, so I'm here. So this is turning into a trend that I hope to modify someday and get here on a more regular basis. The Waterway Guide Sail to the Sun ICW Regatta was a smashing success. I'd like to thank the city for their involvement. They came up with a great welcome bag. We had a banner. Everybody loved it. The City of Cocoa tumblers were immediately deployed and put into use and seen being in service immediately. The event went very well for the most part. We got very high regards and comments. If you'd like to read some great kudos for Cocoa, go to their website. There's several different sources. There's a Facebook page, there's a news article, but we are sitting at the top of the list on preferred places, and understand they've been underway for 6 weeks with a couple of dozen cities behind them, and we are probably, if not the favorite place, right at the top. So This small group of boats is being followed by literally thousands of people that wish that they were doing it, so we'll get a lot of great publicity. One of the things that we did, HCVA, put together a Burgee pennant style. As you can see, it says Sail to Sun WG Waterway Guide, and it is Cocoa Village. We used our name because we bought these, but these are being flown on the halyards of these boats that are heading south. The final destination at the end of this is Miami. From there, boats will be going down into the Keys, into the Bahamas, and down to the Caribbean, and they will have these, and they'll be dockside, and people say, hey, what's that Sail to the Sun, Cocoa Village? And they'll say, we had the best time at that place, you got to go there. So this may very well have been the first step at a formal launching of coming out for Cocoa Village for a place to be to truly attract waterfront cruisers. The comments that we got, the basic things other than we love it, we had a great time. I always ask, what can we do to be better? I got the comment, clean up your anchorage, get rid of the derelicts because we're afraid somebody will drag into us. Got one comment about there was somebody that sat on the dock that looked like an indigent person and watched us for 4 hours, and we had a little concern about what they were going to do once the sun went down. So that's just on the list of things we want to do. Everybody's excited about the facilities improvements that Henry talked about would be coming as part of the 2008 Master Waterfront Plan. So all in all, it was a great event. I was just delighted, and I was happy that they were as excited as they were. Probably be an annual event. Hope to see them some more. And it can only go, they're hoping to have it a much larger fleet in the future.
I'm looking forward to the Waterway Guide blog and, what Wally does.
Yes, and the easiest, a great place to start if you want to read any of this, one word, waterway, second word, guide.com, and poke around a little bit, ICW Rally. There's several different places you can go to read about it, but very, very nice compliments for our city and what they experienced while they're here, so that's very rewarding.
Brad,
Yes, sir.
we witnessed all the boaters vote. Cocoa was the best stop.
Yeah, and that was stated during your speech, during that part of it, and I believe that will hold because I don't think anybody can top what we did. By any chance, is the commemorative available? Look for it in the city's trophy case. It's a beautiful.
It's going to be in the clerk's office.
Okay, in the clerk's office. It's a beautiful piece that a anonymous donor put together and generated these for the entire fleet. Completely a surprise and beautiful, and part of what knocked their socks off. But that's what happened.
Gil's got it. I'll get it.
Okay, that's all right. Well, we got to show them this anyway. But it went very well. And thank you for Chief Cantaloupe that came, and Tyler Furbish and Mayor Parrish that were present there. Samantha was there. So good turnout from the city. Everybody had a good time, and it was just a great event.
Are they selling those pennants that he had on display just then?
We can order more. The ones that we have are gone, but I think we could probably order more if there was an interest for anybody.
I would like to put one on my pontoon boat, yes.
Cool. Okay, let me see what I can do. I'll talk to them, see if we can put another
There's a
small.
fee, I don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, they're very reasonable. Final thought out of me. I think we did the right thing, or you did the right thing regarding the Riverside Road situation. I use that every day going home, and it was definitely a place that was very dangerous, and I truly felt that somebody was going to get hurt there because of the situation. So in spite of the inconvenience to a few, the safety for the majority was the thing to do. So thank you very much.
Yep, safety first.
Happy holidays,
Brad.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes, Brad, thank you, and great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeremy Phelps.
Chitty, bang, bang.
The ultimate, last one.
One of my teachers went.
Hey, Mayor, Council,
Hey,
staff,
Jeremy.
everyone, thanks for having me. Jeremy Phelps, 111 Peachtree, here for the historic Cocoa Village Playhouse. Once more, thanks for having us. Drama Mama Stacy sends her best wishes and Merry Christmas to everybody. She is with our youth program, the Stars of Tomorrow, in rehearsal this evening. They have their holiday pageant coming up next week on Tuesday, December 15th, and I'm happy to say that show is 100% sold out already. So we're really proud of those young folks, and they're going to have a great time. presenting their holiday pageant next Tuesday evening. On the note of other sold-out shows, this Saturday night, Hot Pink, the Motown concert, is also sold out. So not a bad problem for us to have where there's no seats available. We're really happy for those guys, a great local young talent playing some Motown music. So those who have tickets will have a great time, and everyone else will just have to hear about it. Okay, so we have one final performance. This is an additional show of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang that we added. We had some great sellout shows, and we're happy to add one additional performance this Friday, 7:30. If you haven't seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, it's your last chance before we have to go ahead and put that one away to make room for all of our great holiday shows that we have coming up. We have the American Nutcracker that comes in. That's the Galmont Ballet. Friday, December 18th, Saturday, December 19th, and Sunday, the 20th. Great seats still available for that. They've been working with us now for 10 years, and we're really happy to have them back every year. We close for the Christmas break. The office and box office will be closed until January 1st. But before that time, if you're looking for gift certificates, we do have gift certificates available. So that's makes a wonderful little holiday shopping item you can check off there if you want to. Available online and in person. If we come back January 2nd, Jonathan Shepard stand out. This young man is a phenomenal talent who's been on our stage many times, and his show that he's put together and we're happy to present him and his original piece. And he'll be covering some many different styles of music in this musical review. So we're fortunate to have him. December 8th, 9th, and 10th, Nonsense comes on stage. This is a hysterical comedy group of great women that we have performing one weekend only. If you've never seen it, come on out. You will have a great time and prepare to laugh for that show. And then Cats opens on January 29th, the Andrew Lloyd Webber Spectacular, and we are looking forward to starting to work on that here. We have a phenomenal turnout, great turnout for auditions. We really couldn't be happier with the people who came from all over Brevard County and even Orlando to be a part of that production, January 29th through February 14th. So that's everything coming up here pretty soon. Again, gift certificates available and tickets, CocoVillagePlayhouse.com. From your historic Cocoa Village Playhouse to everyone out there, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year's. And we thank you for an awesome 2015, and we're looking for a bigger and better 2016. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. How was your the Space Coast Marathon? What was your time?
3 hours and 58 minutes. A little bit slower than my last performance, but still happy.
Brendan and I were there. We were getting ready to start the marathon, and I looked over, and there's Jeremy right up front. Whoa.
Yeah,
Fast.
I came
3
through.
hours.
I came through on my half. Was looking real good on the half, but the second half, I wasn't quite ready for it. So, but we'll get it next year.
Yes. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we'll move the meeting along. Go to consent.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Then we'll go to, that was a lot of stuff. HR. Right? Administrative Services Director.
This is to approve the appointment of Mr. William Billy Myers IV as a regular member of the Planning and Zoning Board through November 2017.
Is Billy here?
I don't know.
Make a motion to approve, sir.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
The next one is to approve the reappointment of Mr. Jake Williams Jr. as a regular member of the Planning and Zoning Board through November 2018.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Number 3.
This is to approve the reappointment of Ms. Marion Jackson as a regular member of the Housing Authority of the City of Cocoa through December 2019.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
can I make a comment, please? Just for the citizens who are here, whenever we're appointing someone to a board or reappointing someone to a board, a background check is run on those people, so we make sure they don't have a criminal record, or anything like that. So just want to let everybody know that, because I ask that question as a city clerk every time, so.
That's good. Okay, we'll go to number 4.
And this one is to, or for the city council liaison appointments for 2016, and for the appointment of the Space Coast League of Cities voting delegate and its alternate. And this year's list is attached for what everyone is currently
And for
liaison
Mike.
to.
I mean, in the past, last year I did it, sir. I mean, if anyone would like to do it, I don't mind. If not,
Would you be happy to do it again?
I'm a team player, yes, sir.
I'm going to move for Mr. Blake to be the voting delegate.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Furbish.
You're going to have to second that, because he can't.
I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
And as far as boards, I'm happy to stay with the 2 boards I have, and that would be my
If
preference.
there's any problems, we can just wait until we.
Just keep them status quo on the board.
Yeah, so,
And Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I think if you wouldn't mind sharing with the citizens of Cocoa and out there in TV land, that we all must unanimously agree on this, on an event, because if one dissent, then it's dead, so. you know.
Tonight, you mean?
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
tonight,
that's true.
with 3 council members.
Right.
That's true. All right.
Okay.
So, Jack?
Yes, sir. Item 8, number 1, to approve a resolution amending the FY 2016 budget to cover the continuation of work for capital projects that were under budgeted in fiscal year, should be 2015. I'm ready to answer any of your questions.
That's why I was having a problem with that item.
That's right.
John didn't even catch it.
It's getting, make a motion to approve, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay,
But we're going to have it right in the minutes, right?
Absolutely.
it'll be right. All right, so we go to Ed?
Yes, item 8-2, requesting council to approve the ranking for traffic engineering, design and evaluation services, general civil engineering services, stormwater engineering services, surveying services, geotechnical services, and architectural services. Authorize the city manager to negotiate hourly rates and execute a continuing service agreement with the selected consultants in response to request for qualifications RFQ 1514 COC, Traffic Engineering Design and Evaluation Service, and RFQ 16-01 COC, Consulting Services for Civil Engineering, Stormwater Surveying, Geotech, and Architectural Services.
Could you just point out the top ranked in each category, please, sir?
All right. I'll
I have
to
it
put
up.
the agenda item up.
I have it up. Okay.
Okay.
For traffic engineering, design, and
Myra
evaluation,
Planning Design.
it is Myra Planning and Design. For civil engineering services, you have Infrastructure Solution Services and Quinton L. Hampton. For stormwater engineering services, Infrastructure Solution Services, Quinton L. Hampton Associates. For surveying, Southeastern Surveying. For geotechnical, Arteman and Associates and Universal Engineering. And for architectural services, Architects RZK Incorporated.
Okay, thank you. Motion approved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Good. Jack?
Yes, sir. Item 8, number 3, to approve task order number 2016-23 with Bus and Mayor Engineering Group to provide services during construction for structural repairs to the elevated tank project WS1176. To approve a resolution amending the FY 2016 budget.
So move, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good job, thank you. Jack?
Yes, sir. Item number 4, to approve a continuation of work under bid number B-15-21 COC with C&D Construction Incorporated of Cocoa, Florida, for emergency repairs to the elevated tank, and to approve a resolution amending the 2016 budget, to approve a resolution authorizing the city manager to approve and execute change orders in an amount not to exceed $68,476, which is 10% contingency.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Mr. City Manager? Number 5.
Item 8, number 5, to approve a municipal services agreement, pilot offender reentry program with Celebration Tabernacle Incorporated for grounds maintenance and city-maintained right-of-way, and authorize the city manager to sign the agreement and other necessary documents. And I'll answer any questions you may have.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Errol, thanks for coming.
And thanks for
Sure.
helping out.
You have great ideas. Okay, we go to Chief.
Mayor, Council, ask to approve a multi-year contract with the Bancorp Bank DBA Mears Motor Leasing and a budget transfer in the amount of $15,120 from capital account into rental and leases account for the purpose of leasing 3 new vehicles for the police department, and authorize the city manager to sign and execute the agreement.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Check.
Yes, sir. Item number 7 is to award a bid B-15-23 COC Claude H. Dial Water Treatment Plant, Surface Water Plant, Clearwell Addition and Reject Pond Rehabilitation Improvements, project number WS-1402, to Petticoat Schmidt Civil Contractors Incorporated, Jacksonville, Florida, for construction of the surface water plant Clearwell Addition and Reject Pond Rehabilitation, to approve a multi-year contract from FY 2016 through 2018, to approve a resolution amending the fiscal year 2016 budget, to approve a resolution authorizing the city manager to approve change orders not to exceed $856,900, 10% contingency, and to authorize the city manager to execute the contract.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Yes, sir. Item number 8, under multi-year, is approve a task order number 2016-71 to CH2M Hill Engineers for engineering services during construction for the Claude H. Dial Water Treatment Plant, Surface Water Plant, Clearwell Addition, and Reject Pond Rehabilitation Improvements, project WS-1402, to approve as a multi-year contract from 2016 through 2018.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Jack, great job.
Thank you, sir.
Detailed.
Merry Christmas.
Anybody in the audience from the advisory board or a committee that would like to speak? Okay, so we go to city administration. We'll start with Carrie. You want to say anything? No? No? Okay. Jack?
Just one update, Mayor. I know things may seem a little slow at the tank, but what was going on in the background was us ordering the material, the members.
I've been watching.
There's some welds and some things that need to be done, and it's actually being pre-primed and painted at the shop.
Good.
So when it comes, it'll be, other than the scratches and things that they'll end up doing, those need to be touched up. That stuff will start this next week. That material has been delivered, it's been welded, it's been primed and painted, and it's been x-rayed, because there was an observation requirement for inspection of the weld, as well as some x-raying afterwards to make sure that the weld's good. We expect the results any day now, and possibly this week, or definitely next week, we should be installing and taking down some of those members. We think it's probably about another 6 weeks or so, depending on weather. They got there today, they did quite a bit of work, and then once the winds got a little too high,
Yeah.
they have to come down off those lifts, and it kind of killed the afternoon.
You
So-
don't appreciate it until you go on one of those lifts,
Yeah.
even if it's a brand new one.
Yeah, there's I think it's 32 miles an hour or higher. The lift actually automatically shuts down, and they have to come down.
Wow.
So
Well, thank you.
I just wanted to share that with you. Other than that, I have no other report.
We just to let you know, I'll say it for us. We already won it all, but we'll fix it right?
Exactly.
Thanks, Jack.
Yes, sir.
Steve?
No report tonight, sir.
Okay. Good, okay. Ed?
No report, sir.
You get any more sign calls for the signs on Riverside?
The no parking signs? Yes, our crews are out there putting them up this week.
Okay. I felt bad about calling you. That was an email request. Okay. Terry?
No report,
Thanks.
just happy holidays.
Okay, thank you. Chief?
Mayor, I just want to let you and council know, we'll be moving forward. We had the opportunity to update our current sidearms that we carry, we're currently carrying Glocks. We will be updating them to SIGs. We're working on a deal right now with SIG, and it should take place hopefully within the next few weeks. We also may be coming back to council for some additional items attached to that.
Okay.
If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them, or you guys can let me know anytime.
And just to clarify, those are like, it's a straight-up trade. For every Glock, they're going to go with one of their SIGs, brand new, and a holster.
Wow.
So it's a really good deal.
Nines, they're all nines.
Yes, they are all 9mm. We're going to go to one caliber across the board. Everybody will
Several
carry the same.
advantages to this line of thinking, and I think that they're doing the right thing over there. I mean, we can share ammo, we can share weapons, we can do anything we want. Plus, SIG is an absolutely excellent
It's
firearm.
they're probably the best right now.
Safety, safety, safety.
Yeah. Thank you,
Dependability.
Chief Prince.
No report, sir.
Thank you. So we go to
No
Super
report.
Attorney Gary Gnesi. No report.
No report.
Okay.
I'm getting a, no report.
City Manager or Assistant City Manager.
No report.
Okay. Man.
Yeah.
I'll make it quick. I'll make it quick.
There we go.
Just to remind everybody,
Where's the shovel,
four
Mayor?
things.
Where's the shovel?
Just remind everybody, I mean, I've been keeping council advised as it relates to the Charter Review Commission for the county and issues as they come up. Also, this Thursday, December 10th at 1 o'clock, the county is having a public workshop regarding the fuel tax and the local option gas tax. Just reminding council members. Inform you that the Public Employees Relation Commission did select a special magistrate for LiUNA. They declared impasse, and they selected a special magistrate, and we'll be scheduling meetings, hearings. And then the last thing, second last thing, is I just want to advise City Council on a matter related to the Housing Authority of the City of Cocoa and the Florida retirement system. The Housing Authority contacted FRS wanting to join FRS and was advised by the Department of Management Services they are listed as a dependent special district of the city. The city subsequently received a letter from the Department of Management Services related to enrolling and scheduling elections for Housing Authority employees. City staff has been in consultation with both our city attorney and our pension attorney. We've held conversations and meetings with the Department of Management Services and the Housing Authority staff. The Housing Authority staff we believe, were scheduled to discuss the matter with their board today. And I understand, I got a text from our Deputy Director of Community Services that the Executive Director said they did not. But at the crux of it, not only are the members of the Housing Authority, the employees, entitled to participate in FRS, it appears that their participation goes back to when the city joined FRS. There are some issues that may have to be worked out in terms of their responsibility. The FRS says at the end of the day that the city may be responsible. We certainly take issue with that. There are a number of issues that must be resolved, including the possibilities of penalties and delinquent fees for failure to enroll their employees in 2009 when the city joined FRS. The Housing Authority Executive Director, as I mentioned, is going to be raising the issue with his board, and we're working out an agreement for the scheduling of the elections for those members that choose to. And there's really probably, from a long-term exposure, there's really probably 3 employees that have, where they're 04, 91, and 83, and everybody else is fairly new. But it's just something that we certainly, while we have the correspondence from the state, we'll work with our pension attorney, but I just want to keep you advised of that because it's actually a significant issue. Don't want you to, we're working on it over the holidays and into January.
Very good.
Okay.
And then the last item I have is wish council, happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and I want to thank staff. And just, it's Christmas time, holiday season, time of giving, and I'm proud to, many of you may have been copied on the email today, but the city staff, the city as an organization, raised $15,000 and pledged support for the United Way for the upcoming calendar year 2016 campaign. That's an increase from 12% participation to 22% participation, and nearly doubling last year's, annual pledged amount, which a lot of that goes back to our the citizens that we serve, so I'm very proud of all staff for their consideration and participation in the United Way campaign. Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
That's great, man. They deserve a round of applause. That's right. I think it's wonderful. I donate too as well from the school board perspective, but yes, that's wonderful.
Councilman Furbish.
Yeah, earlier this evening, before we had the meeting, had a little ceremony from the fire department, since the fire chief didn't mention it. I'll mention it, that we brought on 2 new guys and pretty much said bye-bye to 2 older guys who are getting ready to retire at the end of the month. We hate to see them go, but they've made their decision, and we brought on our new deputy fire chief. Officially swore him in. Chief officially swore him in this evening, and one of our district chiefs officially swore him in this evening. Very nice, nicely done, and we're happy to have them all with us. And sorry to see the 2 retiring ones go. Folks, please don't think that an incident like happened in San Bernardino, California, can't happen here. It can. It might. And I want you all to be on your toes and keep your eyes open. And if you see something doesn't look just right to you, say something. Call the police. Don't hesitate to call the police. That's what we pay them for.
Tell it.
And they're happy to do it, okay? I mean, they're happy to do it, believe me. It's what they live for. So please, keep your eyes open. I'm personally, I don't know anything, but I'm personally very worried that something could happen right here in our little town. I mean, it just bugs me, because that thing out in San Bernardino just made no sense whatsoever. There's a whole bunch of people having a Christmas party, and that's just, anyway. I'll close with buy local, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
It's great. Councilman Blake.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Great job, Mr. Furbish, Councilman Furbish, sir. So eloquently stated there. Christmas parade, beautiful downtown Cocoa. We're going to be doing 3 things, right, Mr. Mayor? Lighting of the tree, the Christmas parade, and there's the party at Provost Park that's starting at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And
somebody play Santa?
Yes, sir. Someone is playing Santa. I have no earthly idea who that could be, but I'm sure we will have that face into place with the human race. So come one, come all. We're all God's children and creatures. So I look forward to us having a great time.
I'll be there.
Yes, sir. Beautiful downtown hot chocolate, Cocoa, Florida. All right. Had a wonderful time as council members. We all did at the Sip and Stroll. Saw a lot of my old classmates, some of my former students, and just met friendly people, man. Had a real good time. And sat down and broke bread, and we talked about a little this and a little bit of that, but the most important thing, we all had a great time. So I'll compliment everyone that was involved with Sip and Stroll. Don't even slide this thing over here to me, young man. Okay, and last but not least, one of my favorite, because I won't get in trouble like I do with my students, one of my favorite council members concluded it well. Buy local, keep it local, spend local. God bless America. God bless everyone. Merry Christmas. I'm a Southern gentleman. I'm not scared. I don't mind holidays, but I'm going to say Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. I'm wrapping it up. Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, and just have a very real happy time. Go Tigers. Appreciate the Tigers. We lost to doggone Booker T, but proud of the men and women of our football team. Great job. Coach Wilkerson, and also I know Mr. City Manager. I hear you over there with the Florida State thing. But anyway, God bless America. And I had some of the best lime pie of my life right there with that beautiful blonde-headed young lady over there from Monroe High School. We'll not call her name because I'm going to get in trouble anyway, but the food was delicious. Eat well, live well. Buy local. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. And I'll go in closing. I went to collect the jersey for the barbecue bowl, and Cocoa won against Rockledge again this year for 10 years straight. It got really old. It's been old. It's got old, right, Mike?
Oh, absolutely.
So I asked if the mayor of Rockledge's wife could wear the jersey, and she agreed. She's graduated from Cocoa High. Also, we were talking, and at this presentation, right at the end, I mentioned how the water tower, and, it was #1 in the nation. I saw a bunch of frowny faces over there in Rockledge, but it was a good little event. That was a few nights, 3 or 4 nights ago. And then also the parade's this Saturday, which will be really good in the evening time.
Correct.
And I'm not sure what time it starts. 6? 6 o'clock, okay. And really, that's it. So I just want to say, keep flying the flags, and it's Christmas time, so Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and Happy New Year, and be safe, like Tyler said. Thank you.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you,
It
man.
doesn't take us long. It's the fastest thing